Ousmane Kromah updates his recruitment.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, and welcome back into Locked On Seminoles on this late night Saturday edition after I spoke with Ousmane Kromah. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. This is going to be a rather brief episode, just talking about recruiting. Had a chance to talk directly with Ousmane today. Went in length about Florida State, talked about Auburn a little bit, talked about his recruitment, his upcoming season. So let's dive in. Number one running back, arguably in the country in terms of all-around ability out of Lee County High School in Leesburg, Georgia. This is a young man that the Noles have recruited for several years. Everybody's recruited him, quite honestly. Tennessee, Florida State, Notre Dame, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia. Everybody's recruited this young man. Great kid off the field, very respectful, very mature, and he's a 215-plus pound kid that is not only good at running power around the end, he's an excellent receiver. He had 9 touchdowns and over 500 yards receiving last year for Lee County, and it's one of the bigger classifications they play in Georgia. So, elite prospect. He went to Florida State on Friday, then Auburn on Saturday. When he got to Florida State, he expressed to me how it was really unique and it made him feel good. Norvell had told the staff, stop what they're doing. We're all going to go down. Ousmane's going to be here in like 20 minutes. He texted with him or called him, what have you. They all go down, and when he walks in the facility, the front entryway, the entire staff is waiting to say hello to Ousmane. They went out of their way specifically for him, and trust me, he went on and on about it as a good show, a good faith gesture, if you will, that this isn't just a recruitment that they're in the mix. Like they want him. This is their guy. And I thought that was interesting because not many schools do that for any recruit. And it's interesting to me that they did it for a running back recruit because let's be honest, running back is not the same level of recruit in terms of position like a D tackle or quarterback might be because there's more of them, and they just went after him. And it was a personality fit, like Norvell's talked about it with him, etc. He went into that a little bit, but he was just overwhelmed, but the entire staff did that for him. This is how you win recruiting battles. What do we do different than the other guys that are recruiting against us? Florida State's another state school that's got success and history, but so are all these SEC schools, Georgia, Auburn, etc. What are you doing differently? And it's interesting. He visited Auburn today and Florida State yesterday, and not Georgia this weekend. I don't think he's going to Georgia at all this weekend, and that's another school that would love to have Ousmane. And let's be honest, Kirby doesn't miss on a lot of in-state kids. So Florida State's doing a heck of a job. I still don't know where he's going to go, and I don't think Ousmane knows, but Florida State put their best foot forward in a manner that, quite honestly, is one of the more unique ways that I've seen in all the years that I've covered recruiting, followed it, just been a fan, off-the-record conversations, like he lit up. So if they lose out on him, it's not going to be because Florida State didn't put their best foot forward. Still a ways to go in his recruitment. I don't know his exact timeline. I'm not sure that Ousmane knows at this point. But again, elite player. I'm looking forward to going and seeing him play. They play Thomas County Central somewhere in the middle of the season, a home game, and that ought to be a great game. Thomas County Central won the state title last year in 6A. It's a perennial program. It's where Charlie Ward went. So I'm going to go see Ousmane in that game. That's the tentative plan, weather permitting. But really excited about him because he's just a great kid and a great football player. Next, the other young man I talked to on Friday when I was down in Orlando was Ethan Pritchard. He's the linebacker that's committed to the Noles out of Sanford Seminole High School. It's one of the top talent-producing programs not only in Florida, but in Dixie. For those of you baseball fans, those old-school baseball fans, Tim Raines, the old baseball player, the speedster that played for the Expos, and I think he ended up playing for the Yankees, a few other teams. He's from that high school. They've had all kinds of kids go all over the place. Elite talent coming out of that school. I think that's good within itself. Florida State always needs to recruit Central Florida. But after I got to meet him, and I'll pull up a video and play it here in a second, I'd seen him and met him a couple times in passing because I knew he was a guy even when he was a freshman. The people at Seminole had told me. it was interesting how much he's matured and just how quickly a teenager changes. It's a reminder to myself and really to everybody, because he was a kid when he was a freshman, he could play, but he didn't say much, kind of just goes by, kind of fits in. Now going into his senior year, talking to him on the record and off, just like generally speaking, you can tell he enjoys the leadership role. And that's important if you're going to play a linebacker, because you're going to make calls. You're going to be a part of the inside linebacker group. You'll play Will and Mike. He can play both. That's a kid that I could see being a team captain at Florida State one day. And to be honest, I think he's a little underrated. He's 6'1", 205 right now, and he is rocked up. He's put together. And again, playing at the program he's at, he's blue-collar kid that fears nothing, will put his helmet into about anybody. Just love the way he fits, as I often say, kind of the old-school Bobby Bowden teams that had those great defenses and linebackers. They're a little bit undersized, but man, would they hit you. They could run, they could cover, they could blitz. It was so versatile. This kid can do that too. Ethan Pritchard, I think, is a 3-star by just about everybody off the top of my head, but he's underrated. And his film shows that he's playing against really good competition. So with that, I'm going to present my screen right now and go to let you see the little interview that I did with him. I think that it's really interesting that he's such a good football player, and he's also one that, quite honestly, doesn't get enough attention. All right, Ethan, you're a Florida State Seminole. You got your senior year coming up. Going to be playing for Sanford Seminole High School. Ironic name there. You excited for this season, and what's your goals for this year?
I really just say being more of a leader and really just working on the small details, like from read steps to just anything, small details, like that's gonna be the main thing in the long term, right? So that's really it right now.
Florida State was your choice. What made you want to go play for Mike Norvell and the Noles?
I really just say like the coaching style, like the culture, and then Saturday nights and no county too. So like that's something you can't. That's something everybody. I think everybody will like something like that. So really, just like I said, really just the coaches. Like everybody is real. It's real genuine. It ain't just like they doing this just because they trying to get you up there. Like if I feel like it's perfect for me, so that's what I just feel like.
What is the best thing you do on the football field?
I really just see I'm a game ready. Like that. I can change the game quick. Put it like that.
Do you want to play Mike or Will, or does it even really matter to you?
It don't really matter to me, like, cause I can play all three, so it don't really matter. Whatever coach tells me to go or whatever he wants me to do, I'm gonna do it.
All right, that was Ousmane Kromah, and then that was Ethan Pritchard. Two guys that, quite honestly, you're not going to get better fits for Florida State. Again, I said this is going to be a short update, but like to reiterate, Florida State's recruiting the right kind of kids here. You can't go wrong when you do your due diligence. This goes into why Florida State's successful with the portal and with high school kids, and they develop not one, but both. So with that, I'm going to wrap up here on this episode of Locked On Seminoles. Please hit the like button, hit that subscribe, rate, and review. Please share this podcast and comment, YouTube. Love to hear what you all have to say. Everybody have a good one.